Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, this is Smith & Black with the Strat Time Report, and we are on a Monday and second week of the month. So, NVIDIA trying to be the wet blanket here. Everything was ready to, locked and loaded and ready to go, and then NVIDIA put the kibosh on that. But if we go to the SPY, we ran into some exhaustion risk. And what that means is we took out some highs, and that was pretty much it. So we know on the month that we were looking above this, 403, 413.03, and if that works, all right, now we're back into it again, right? But if that works, we're looking to take this out here, 417.44, which we did this morning, but that was it. And then we got the inside 60 reversal, the 212 in the last hour, and that was it. 2, 1, boom, back down, fill the gap, and now we're back below that month and back into this range. So you can see here on the daily, you had the inside day, the poke down, the rev strat, the 1, 2, 2. These two became an outside bar of that, but that's all she wrote. Then you get this, and so you're going to see something like this. Your higher high. Whoop. So redraw that. Oops. Okay. Your higher high. And the lower low coming off of this. Here. There's your 60-minute broadening formation, and now we're dead in the middle of it. How are we going to get out of there? So if we go to QQQ, you're also going to see this. The higher high and the lower low, the 212 reversal on the 60, all right? Yep. And now potential an outside day to the downside, and we'll get to NVIDIA in just a second. But if we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, everything was looking rosy until you also had the simultaneous break. Almost every inside 60 went to the downside, right? After over here, reaching that level we've been watching, that 329.27, but then that was all she wrote, and boom, down she goes. If we go to small cappers, we're not quite inside. We know they've been leaving the charts, but they were a 2-2 reversal. There's a slight higher high off of that. 2-2 reversal back down. So they're still handily above that inside month, so we'll see. But NVIDIA is really the story of the day because everything was looking real rosy before the opening, and then NVIDIA says, well, not so good. And so you can see that inside 60, the downside. Firming up just a tad on here on the new 60. Like we said, new 60 is like a new day to us, and there it is. So what's important here for NVIDIA is that this gap took out last week's lows, right? That's going to change that month back red, right? So that's a problem. You can see right now, trying to come back into, trying to retake that opening. So firming up just a tad here on the new hour. But if we did have some fun this morning, the meme stocks have started blasting off again. Here's Bloodbath and Beyond. Gap and it's sitting, got to get out of this opening range. But right now, trying to rest at 1, 2, 2. If they want to take this thing back up over 1148, it's almost there now. GameStonk. Still inside 60, but trying to work its way back up here. AMC. So all the apes having a good time, at least right now, but a little bit of gap in sittage. We'll see if these things pick up anymore going forward. Tesla's. And Tesla backed off with market, but still green on the day. So we'll see if that holds and see if that firms up at all here in the afternoon. If we go to EXPI. And EXPI with a nice little day. There's your rev strat 1, 2, 2, boom. And if that works, that reconfirms the 212 inside month to the upside over 15, 14. Nice little move there and staying firm. If we go to GFS. GFS stays firm in that 60 when everything else collapsed. So we'll see inside days here. Looks like that. And the 322 monther. Here, 3, 2 down, 2 up. So we're looking for magnitude to take this out. 61.88. You almost got there. We'll see if that sets up again. If we go to the team also held up pretty well up in here too off that 60. So we'll see how that goes. Because remember, like with 2 months inside of here, and then this was the breakaway month so far. And there's your gap. There's your holding the gap from Friday and staying a lot firmer than other things during that 60 sell-off. If we go to Sava, And Sava having a nice little day here, and you can see that 2 down, 2 up. Just going to stall out a little bit with the market here, but didn't fall apart either off those 60s. And you can see that's still held as an inside 60. Going after an inside week, we'll see if that retakes that or how that goes. If we go to, well, we had some retail, XRT. XRT held up pretty well. Did go 2260 reversal, but holding up pretty well on that month here so far. But we'll see. We had Ross Stores holding up fairly well, albeit 2-2 reversal on the 60, but still holding that opening here and still going after that month here above 84.95. You're still above that. If you go to Cap Sig SIG, also held up pretty well. No reversal on the 60 on that, and that is Rev Strat month. Inside, 2 down, 2 up for Cap Sig. You go to Dix, and Dix did go 2-2 reversal on the 60, but nowhere near taking out the daily opening. That's good. So we'll see if that firms up. You go to Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters didn't really reverse on the 60, so they held up fairly well. Also Rev Strat month, 1, 2, 2 to the upside, and the 2 down, 2 up. If we go to Roku, and Roku was a nice 2-2 reversal on the 15 to open the day. This thing here, 2 down, boom. Now it's still holding up into here. The 2 down, 2 up day. Still inside of the month, you got some distance on that, but let's watch this weekly. The 2-1-2 reversal on the weekly above 85.06. You're almost there. We'll see if that reclaims it. Right now, the market weakening, and we'll get to some of these pukers here in a second. If we go to Top, and Top having a nice little day coming back through all this kind of range. Inside weak to the upside. A little choppy up into here on the 15er, but we'll see if that firms up on a nice 60. Maybe you get yourself an inside 60. If we go to Clorox, and Clorox, nice blaster to start the day, now trying to firm up on the new 60. You've heard me talk about this, and you see like nice choppy range like this, then it comes down, and then it comes back into it. Potentially there's your lower low, and we've got the slight higher high. We'll see if anything more comes of that. If you can take that week, 2 down, 2 up on the week for Clorox over 146.24. So you got there and then backed off. We'll see if that firms up. Okay, little guy, see if this thing's doing anything. CLPS, little guy shenaniganer pops up a little bit. We'll see. If we go back to SPY, starting to weaken on that new 60, right? Let's see what color that red is here. It pokes down into lows. You got your lower low to see if it stays down there, right? We'll see. They poke down there initially. But we know NVIDIA's got the SMH. Gets the SMH going. Now here's where the SMH would really get in trouble. If you can turn this week around and go 2-2 down below 233.65. Got some distance on that, but that's going to be the number if they're really going to get in trouble here. If you go to any of them, AMAT. And AMAT taking out Friday's lows. Not the end of the world, but you can see a bunch of those 60s cratered here with the 2-1-2 reversals and the broader average stuff. LRCX here, taking out the Friday's lows, and once again, we can take a look at all these weeklies. That's where you really get in trouble. Below 486.81. We can go back to the AMAT. What was that number? AMAT would be here, 103.66. So you got some distance on these to take out the weeklies. So we'll see. If we go to AMD, inside day to the downside. All right, still got some distance on that week though. It's starting to firm up now. Okay, so they poke down on those fivers, but don't fall apart. So far so good for SPY. Goes down, doesn't fall apart. You'll see this 5 minute doing this. There it is. Anytime you go into a lower low, it's just stopping a bunch of bottom pickers out. Right. So we'll see if they stay down there. That would be a problem. Right now they're not doing that. Still inside weeks in a lot of these somewhere, so that's going to be interesting going forward. If we go to McDonald's, and McBurger's having some problems in going back towards the lows. Big outside day, and once again 3-2-2 on the week. Anybody taking out last week's lows gets my attention, and your magnitude's all the way down here. 248.65 if they can take that out, and we'll see how that goes on our 60. There's your 3-2 downer. Still getting pounded. If you go to FedEx, and FedEx shooter, boom, stop out these guys on the short side up here, and then boom, right back through the range, taking out last week's lows. So FedEx in trouble here below 231.53. If we go to ENPH, and ENPH gives us the outside day coming back through previous range. And so that's potential an outside week, right? That's a 3. You're in exhaustion risk because you had your higher high here, and you can see the broadening formation, the higher high and the lower low there, and then the new 60 here. And that tells us we can look at like Sedge and FSLR and see what these things want to do, not just kind of sitting there. And FSLR tried to run this morning, but now coming back into the gap. We'll see how that goes into the afternoon. If we go to the chickens, Tyson. And the Tyson now firming up on those 60s, but that's an outside month, and you're just going into lower low, so you got exhaustion risk, but certainly gets my attention there. If you go to EDU, inside week to the downside after a little shopping here, but it is firming up on the 60, but we'll see what comes of that coming in the afternoon. How about PDD going to the lows? How's China? PDD coming into the lows, but the good thing is for a lot of things not taking out the lows of last week. LHX is, though, here, so that gets my attention as well. And the 2-2 reversal on the week, LHX. But for the SPY, the broader averages, so far, potential 3-weeker, but haven't taken it out. So the question is, are we going to be able to re-grab these inside months that we've been jumping around right now? So it's retaking it, but this number has just been like a magnet so far this month. So we really want to try and get away from that to either give us a discernible potential outside month to the downside or a discernible break to the upside, which we haven't had. Here's your 60-minute broadening formation that we need to get out of, and we're nowhere near doing it. So we might dry up here a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Sorry. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Mr. Black, Strat Time Report.